nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
Hi, I'm John Malice. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Tuesday. It's a Business Tuesday. We'll talk about the minimum wage with our guest here today. It came up in last night's Democratic National Convention. Bernie Sanders brought it up. We'll play a portion of his speech. The minimum wage here in California set to go up. On the rise, my friends. 436 Me TV option 11. We're back in just a moment. Back here on the program, 436 Me TV option 11 on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno this Tuesday morning. The focus is on business. We'll talk about the minimum wage in just a moment. But first, quick programming note for tomorrow. We have this guy who, he's a business owner himself in his own right. He had a bike shop in downtown Fresno, and he picked up and moved his business to Hanford. He had had enough. He had been broken into so many times in downtown Fresno. He had had it up to here. He said, I'm out of here. Not only did he move out of Fresno, he went to Hanford. We'll have his story tomorrow. He'll be sitting right here next to me. You can call in and ask him some questions. And then on Thursday, we'll have our resident counselor. What's his name? Peter Nazaridian. We'll talk about love and marriage again, and we'll talk about some scandalous things too as well. So we'll talk about that on Thursday. On Friday, Doug Vagan will be here to talk about the mayor's race. And speaking of scandals, how about the water crisis in Northeast Fresno? Are we, another Flint, Michigan, waiting to explode? What did Henry Perea know, and when did he know it? When he was a council member? And what about Lee Brand and the mayor? What did they know, and when did they know it? And why didn't they do anything about it? Anyway, we'll talk about that on Friday here on the program. But for now, we're going to talk about politics and business and also the minimum wage ready to go up in California next year. That's not that far away. It'll go up to $15, of course, by 2022. So last night, Bernie Sanders, he brought the rafters down. He had a 4-minute to 5-minute standing ovation right at the beginning. They wouldn't even let him speak. There were people, delegates in the audience who were crying nonstop. He gave the speech of the night. It was the same old Bernie. He was talking about the less fortunate, making things equal. He wants equal pay. He wants to raise the minimum wage. And I got to tell you, Bernie sounded like he was running for president. Yes, he endorsed Hillary Clinton. However, he also pointed out many differences between him and her and the differences between Hillary and Donald Trump. Here is Bernie at his best, bringing the House down on day one of the convention.
I understand that many people here in this convention hall and around the country are disappointed about the final results of the nominating process. I think it's fair to say that no one is more disappointed than I am. But to all of our supporters here and around the country, I hope you take enormous pride in the historical accomplishments we have achieved. Together, my friends, we have begun a political revolution to transform America, and that revolution, our revolution, continues. This election is about which candidate understands the real problems facing this country and has offered real solutions. Not just bombast, not just fear-mongering, not just name-calling and divisiveness. Based on her ideas and her leadership, Hillary Clinton must become the next President of the United States.
Got to tell you something. You can't get rid of Bernie Sanders. He's going to be around for a long time. And you saw about 46 to 50% of his delegation, his delegates, were at the convention last night whooping it up, and there was dissension. You know, don't forget Hillary Clinton and those scandalous emails by the Democratic Party indicating during the campaign that they wanted to jump on Bernie Sanders, oust him, and they favored, the emails showed that they favored Hillary Clinton in getting her the nomination for the Democratic Party to face Donald Trump. And those people are and were revolting big time yesterday at the convention. You could see them there rallying for Bernie Sanders big time, as some were crying. They still want Bernie to be the nominee. Some being so rebellious, they say that they will never vote for Hillary Clinton, no way, shape, or form. Some may even jump the fence and go over to Donald Trump. We don't know. Day 2 of the convention is tonight. Bill Clinton, the former president, will speak on behalf of his wife, and he will endorse his wife and tell us why she should be the next president of the United States. So day number 2, stay tuned. It's all week except, well, it ends on Friday with Hillary's speech. So to continue along that same message, you heard during the speech last night, Bernie Sanders mentioning the minimum wage. And I got to tell you, this has been a keynote cornerstone piece of his campaign. For the last how many months have we heard Bernie Sanders talk about the 0.1%, the people up here with money, they have to pay their fair share, and the people at the bottom and the middle class have to be propped up. I want to roll the videotape, my friends, and show you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the minimum wage. Governor Jerry Brown back on April the 4th giving an uplifting speech moments before he signed into law a higher minimum wage here in California, $15 an hour by 2022. Sanders last night pointed out a national minimum wage hike for on the campaign trail, of course, and last night. He wants the current $7.25 to be raised to $15 an hour. Here in this state, the wage goes from $10 to $10.50 next year, $11 by 2018, and $1 a year until it reaches $15 by 2022. California already has one of the highest minimum wages in the country. Only Washington, D.C. at $10.50 an hour is higher. New York recently became the second state to pass a new law. Their minimum wage goes up to $15 an hour by 2018. In fact, 14 states in all began this year with higher minimum wages. Live in our studio right now is AJ Rassamni. He is a small business owner right here in the city of Fresno. He owns Great American Car Wash. He's been here before. We're going to talk about the minimum wage hike here in the state of California. It goes up to $10.50 next year, and by 2022, it will be $15 an hour. This has been a bone of contention in the political scheme of things, of course, throughout the campaign on both sides of the aisle, specifically with Bernie Sanders. When Bernie came here to Fresno, he spoke for nearly 2 hours. He talked about the people that are at the bottom. He wants to prop them up. He emphasized a raise in the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. He patted Governor Jerry Brown on the back for signing the bill on April the 4th, and he is happy about that, and he wants the national minimum wage, $7.25, to go up and beyond, and he wants free college tuition for those making $125,000 or less. What do you think? 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back after this from our sponsor.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a third suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
Want to create something extraordinary? Create perfection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. KitchenAid, Ventura TV appliance, and you, when only the best will do.
Back here on the program, of course, day 2 today of the National Convention in Philadelphia. The Democrats, of course, holding their convention a week after the Republicans did. And I'll tell you, there is dissension. There is not all happiness here or there in the convention hall. You saw that last night. Of course, what is real happiness? There was a lot of dissension, of course, last week with the Republicans and Donald Trump. Ted Cruz making that speech. They say it was political suicide. Bernie Sanders, yes, he endorsed Hillary Clinton. But really, when you stop and think about it, did he have a choice? Who else was there? She got more votes, she had more delegates, and even without those super delegates, Hillary Clinton came out on top. AJ Rassamni, a small business owner, is here again. Great American Car Wash, good to see you, my friends.
Nice seeing you.
The minimum wage has been a bone of contention, and the cornerstone, one of the major cornerstones of Bernie Sanders' campaign, he wants the national minimum wage to be raised to $15 an hour, maybe even beyond. You are here to, if Bernie Sanders were sitting here, you would tell him what?
You know, when I first heard of Bernie Sanders running, I really liked his ideas. And honestly, when I heard about the $15 minimum wage, I said no. Because as a small business owner, especially in Fresno, it hurt us. It is very good in certain cities, San Francisco, because they have technology, they have Silicon Valley. They can afford it. Real estate is very expensive. It's very good in tourist areas. Real estate is very expensive. As a matter of fact,
tourist areas like what? Like the coastal areas?
Any place you have tourists don't care about paying more money.
Like San Diego, for example.
The study shows actually that San Francisco can handle the $15, no problem.
Well,
Los Angeles,
I think LA is one city that raised it to 15, I think.
Yes, but the study also shows that Los Angeles and San Diego, they're going to have some problems, but they can handle it because they're big cities and they have a lot of tourists, so it's no problem. But the study shows that in Central Valley, especially in Fresno will be the worst city hit by the minimum wage because real estate is very expensive, very cheap compared to other cities.
Right.
We don't have tourists. And the biggest expense for small businesses in Fresno is labor.
Okay, here's what small business owners are saying, and I've read some comments online. They say that it's going to put a strain on payroll, health insurance, disability insurance, retirement packages, and services and goods will certainly go up.
Certainly.
Is that your argument as well?
There's only three outcomes from this one for business. Either they're going to close, they're going to cut down labor, increase productivity by adding equipment that would do the work, and they have to raise prices. So the smart businesses that will last, will continue working,
caller.
is they have to raise prices, they have to cut down labor, and they have to install equipment so they don't need labor force.
Right. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I'm concerned. I talked to this one businessman here in town, and he's rather a small businessman, but he said he's worried about the insurance and everything that he's just kind of mentioned going up. He says, I don't know if I can stay in business any longer. It's really going to put a strain on the small businessman to stay afloat. It's a big strain. Insurance, like you just mentioned, the retirement and everything else is just it's a major concern. You know, he's worried that he started his family. His father started the business, and now he took over, and he's in his 50s, 60s, and
Caller,
he doesn't know if he can keep it going.
Caller, let me ask you a question. Wait a minute. Caller, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Caller, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Bernie Sanders pointed out last night that the minimum wage should be raised to at least $15 an hour nationally because he says, look, If someone works 40 hours a week, why should they have to live in poverty? That was his point. Do you agree with that?
Well, it's the poverty issue is maybe there should be a more affordable housing for people that are in a lower bracket income. I mean, if the government can help out with other people that have houses for rent and give them a little certificate or something to compensate for the high rent.
Yes,
and
but isn't, wait a second,
utilities,
caller,
yes.
Isn't the American dream to own a house, or has that gone by the wayside now? I mean, owning a home, owning a car, being a property owner is really a thing of the past, is it? Or, I mean, it's a source of pride for a lot of people, is it not?
It is, but I mean, we take what we can get and show our pride in that measurement, and keeping the upkeep. A lot of people don't keep the houses up, or their property looks, bad. If they show some incentive, I'm sure good things will come to people. For instance, on Craigslist, I found a nice BMW for $700. Own your own home, own your own car. I mean, it's possible to create things of worth, and then you have to maintain it, and instead of running it to the ground. But just appreciate what you have, and just be happy with every day that we have our freedom and our safety. That's our main concern, and as it should be, is our savings, save your money, and be good to your children.
People are not making enough to save money, though. Some people. This
one millionaire here in town, he used to tell his kids, he goes, if you watch your pennies, your dollars will take care of themselves. There's a Hilton hotel owner who just passed away recently. But he's super rich people. And but if it's true, if you watch, what you do, like watch what you spend and save what you can, it'll grow a nice nest egg. But to come back after the 9/11, and we're still coming back off of that, and the drop in the Madoff scandals. I mean, we've really suffered a tremendous blow from all these people taking advantage of Freddie Mac or whatever. It doesn't.
Freddie Mac.
Freddie Mac, yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
The Freddie Mac situation, I mean, the people bought a house. Oh, I bought a home, but they bet on them losing their house instead of betting. Why would you bet on somebody losing a house? You should bet on it for them to win and be happy.
Well,
I don't understand it, but
hopefully one final thing is Bernie right? Is the system rigged against the lower class and the middle class?
Yeah. He's right, but he might be a little. He's getting there, or we're all getting there, and hopefully. But I was going to mention the Ventura TV has a program, a Justice Channel, and there's a border, and I watched that show, and it's amazing how many border wars are going on where they're transporting drugs and people and drugs, and once they catch those people and more people, I mean, they are relentless. I mean, I haven't heard Bernie Mac or Clinton say anything about that, and they're just shoving that drugs across the border as fast as they can. I mean, every underground, upground, underwater, above water. It's true what Trump says about the drugs that are coming into this country and smuggling people and all this other stuff. And they haven't, and Bernie and Clinton has never even said one word about, let it come in, Right. I mean, we know it's right, we know it's wrong, but we have to do something about the border, the drugs. I don't know where they make all these drugs, the cocaine, the weed, all that stuff is and methamphetamine is heroin. Now there's a new white heroin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
It was a huge
really
article.
I mean, they dig every tunnel they can. I mean, and they're even the people that discover the stuff, they're amazed.
All right.
To see how much stuff has been transferred. But as far as the wages, I hope for the best for everybody, and just hold on to your job.
Yeah. Okay.
The grass may look greener on the other side, but don't wait till make sure you secure your future.
All right, have a good day. Thank you for the call. Great call. I will say this, and I want you to respond to what the caller did say, because the LA Times this past Sunday had a front page story about there being a heroin epidemic in this country, if people are living in the middle class status and the lower class status and they're using drugs, where are they getting the money for that?
Yes, illegally.
I don't know.
They're selling drugs to have money to use drugs. It's easy. They're breaking the law. I'll tell you an example.
But respond to that caller, because he made a lot of good points.
He did.
But they were not all the same. They were different points to a certain extent.
First, I'd like the caller to connect with me. He's excellent. You said something about the pride of owning a home, and the pride is not by something given to you.
Hang on, caller.
The pride is not by something given to you. It's by you earning that thing. See, and what the government does says, we're going to give you, we have everything to give you.
But nobody's talking about giving anybody anything. Earning a wage, a decent living wage, is not giving anybody anything.
What's a decent living wage? You see, you have to look at perspective. And in many countries, they live on $1 per day. What we call minimum wage people here, I know, but what we call minimum wage people here, they have smartphones, they have cars, they live in a house, they have furniture, they have a house, they have everything. The minimum wage is not made for you to stay in the minimum wage. It's made for you to start in the minimum wage. And it is up to you if you have it in you, the pride to grow and be somebody in the future. It's up to you to make it. Because when you work so hard at a business and you work even 1% more than anybody else, you're going to stand up. And when you stand up, the owner of that business has no choice but to give you a raise and to move you up.
I've got to go to a break. Caller, you're going to have to wait until after the break. I'm sorry. I appreciate you calling, but you'll have to wait. 436 MeTV, option 11. We got to take a break. We got a sponsor. Back in just a moment.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
And away we go.
Here's the place that makes you smile. Stick around and stay a while. We're the home of great TV. That's memorable. That's me.
Follow me, sir.
Call them classics, call them the best. Call them favorites, be our guest. Every day there's more to come. Watch and see, there's only one. Me TV.
All you have to do is watch me.
Are you kidding me?
Follow me.
That's memorable. That's me.
That's me.
Me TV.
All right, here on Connect with Me TV Fresno. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was hearing the gentleman talking before. He made a lot of good issues. But my question is to the small business owners like your guest. And the thing is that even if they go $15 an hour, they're barely going to make it anyway, okay? Because of a lot of people don't want to buy homes now, and I don't think they will. For the simple reason that a lot of owners are going into the apartment complex where they, and they're doing well, okay, or even a rental, but at the same time, their rent will go up because of the minimum wage or whatever, and But one issue that I really loved about Bernie, if you saw him speak to the crowd, he was emotional, number one. His followers were crying. And the other one I really enjoyed seeing and making issue for Hillary was Michelle Obama. She brought the house down too. But Bernie, I wish he really would have been the one that won, because he would have changed the way people think. Being one society, and we're all Americans. It doesn't make any difference who you are. But the issue is this: $15 minimum wage is going to hurt the small business businessman, because they're going to, like he says, they're going to have to pay for the higher taxes in California. It's already is probably the highest in the United States. And that's why a lot of businesses are going elsewhere to do it. But
okay.
my question to him is this: he took a chance coming to the Central Valley for business. Now that the minimum wage is going up, now he has to decide, is he going to stay?
Okay.
That's all I
Thank
wanted
you.
to say.
Thank you very much. Are you going to stay?
To be honest, I hope not.
Why?
Because we're in a bind. If we increase the minimum wage, and the average income in Fresno is very low. So the only way to survive is by increasing our prices. And when we increase our prices, the middle income class cannot afford to do business, to come to us and get our services anymore. And increasing the minimum wage, really what's going to do is going to increase the gap between the rich and the poor. Because when you increase the minimum wage, the middle class, the low middle class people are not getting any raises. So when and the minimum wage is going to reach that number. That's how much money they're going to make. So what's going to do with the inflation, we're going to separate. We're going to have less people that can afford to go to businesses and spend their money, especially retired people, senior citizen people, veterans people. They cannot, because they're not getting raises. So it's going to be worse. If you look throughout history, let me give you this. If you look throughout history, in 1940, an average manager used to make $12,000 a year. The average house, to purchase a house, was $9,000. Today, an average manager with 1 year income of $70,000 or more, it is not enough as a down payment for a house.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you this here as we look at I want to put up the first graphic. It's called Medium Wage 2022. Medium Wage 2022. We list all the cities here, not all of them, but a lot of them here in California. There it is, Fresno at $20.31. Explain what this graphic means to you. We see a lot of cities there up and down the state of California, including the three major ones.
Yeah, if you see, Fresno has the lowest median wage.
Right.
Because we have the lowest income over here.
Right, along with Merced.
Yes. So if you look at Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose has the highest.
So does this mean the medium wage will be at $20.31 by 2022? That's what that graphic means to me.
Remember, by 2022...
Hang on, caller.
You see, one thing you forgot to mention, by 2022, yes, the minimum wage is at 15, but there's another clause. It said that every year after that, the minimum wage will be going up, depending on the inflation.
So is this graphic that we're seeing right here, is this the medium wage by 2022 without the minimum wage hike, without it, or with it?
This is with the minimum wage hike.
This is with the minimum wage hike.
Yes.
It'll be the medium wage will be $20.31. You can see Los Angeles at $24.78, but San Jose is the highest at $37.34. So
because of Silicon Valley.
Right, Silicon Valley, and Sacramento is right in there, higher than Los Angeles, believe it or not, and San Diego.
Yes, yes. Actually, the study shows that even Sacramento can afford. They're going to have some problems, but they can afford the $15 minimum wage.
All right, before we go to the call here, I have to. What stands out the most in that graphic to you?
Fresno. Because Fresno cannot afford the wage. Let me give you an example. Today, go to San Francisco to have dinner. The average plate is $35. You go today to Fresno to have dinner. The average plate is $14.
Right.
Okay. So San Francisco, they can afford the increase in minimum wage. Fresno cannot afford it because if you need...
What's the average dinner price for a family of four in Fresno? Have you figured that out yet? I don't know what it is.
We're four, and we spend between $75 to $100. We normally spend $100, so it's $25 a person. And
is that too high?
That is too high. So we spend more than the average, but yes, this is too high.
Right, so it should be less than that.
Yes.
It should be. Okay. All right, caller, you've been patient. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, a comment. $15 an hour is a good thing, but for the businessman, they should have a freeze on it or roll back on the prices and give the small businessman credit for it. This way they won't have to increase their prices, and people will probably live on better that way. The government could give them credit or give them whatever they can like they do to big business companies.
All right, what do you think of that?
What do you think about that?
Yes, yes. Let me give you some facts about businesses, actually. Per Bloomberg, 80% of businesses fail within the first 18 months. Per SBA, 9 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 10 years.
Right.
There's about 543,000 new businesses open every month. But there are more businesses that close every month. It is very hard to be in business. There's only 14% of businesses make over $500,000 a year in revenue. There's only 4% that make over $1 million in revenue per year. Only 4%.
In the country?
In the country.
Right.
Okay, so it is very hard for small businesses to stay in business if they have a lot of expenses. All new jobs today created, between 65 and up to 80% of new jobs created today are created by small businesses.
The question I have is, before I put this next graphic up, is someone making minimum wage, what is your suggestion on how they elevate themselves out of that situation?
Perfect.
Let's say you take a person, 20, 25 years old, they're making minimum wage, doing whatever, okay, and they want to be the next AJ Rassamni. How do they get out of that funk? How do they get out of that little reservoir of minimum wage, stagnant wages, maybe barely cutting it, barely making rent, barely making the car payment, going to Jack in the Box every day, not eating healthy because they can't afford it? What do they do to become a millionaire?
Perfect.
What do they do?
Perfect. Let me tell you, today I have a person working for me for minimum wage. He owns a house. I have another one just quit a year ago.
How do they become a millionaire?
Let me tell you, I was in their shoes. When I went at the car wash and work at minimum wage, I gave more than what I was getting paid. Most people say, go to the business owner and say, pay me more and I'll work harder.
How does that make you a millionaire? How does that get you out of the funk?
Exactly. And that's my story, actually. It's in my book. And I think we talked about it last time. It's you work harder than anybody else in a business that the business owner has no choice to promote you, because if he doesn't, somebody else is going to promote you. So if you're not inspired or aspired inside of you to be better, you're not going to succeed. Let me tell you this, actually. If you take all the money in the whole world today, all the money, the trillions of dollars, and you divide it equally between everybody's living today, within 5 years, we still have the rich and the poor. You can be a father.
How can you
But not everybody
that?
wants to be a father. You can be a husband. Not everybody wants to be a husband. So not everybody is inspired and aspired to be
Here's the
rich.
thing: if you split up if you take all the money and split it up evenly within the population here in the United States, all right, you may get that disparity again. You're going to have the rich and the poor, only for one reason, as I see it. You know what that reason is? Because some people are spendthrifts, and some people are not.
And I tell you why.
Some people save money, and some people are inclined. It's just inbred, ingrained into them. It's a mentality. It's a lifestyle to spend money, not to save money.
And whose fault is it? Ultimately, I always believe the fault is of the person, because you are in charge of everything around you.
Right.
But really, people here are being brainwashed by companies. Go spend your money, keep up with the Jones, buy the newest iPhone, buy the newest car, everything you know, so always stay on debt. And the government encourages that too. Why? Because it helps the economy. It doesn't help your economy, it helps their economy. So you need to be smart enough and learn, and I teach that, is learn how to pay yourself first.
Worry about your economy, not the country's economy.
Learn to create a bill for yourself, and I'd recommend 30% of your income. The first thing you do, you take 30% of income, you pay it as a debt to yourself, and you save that money. Eventually you can start
What if
investment.
you're not making enough to save 30%?
Can you save 10%? Start somewhere. But save money and work hard on everybody else.
I'd like to take a poll. You know what? I want callers to call in at 436-MeTV option 11 and tell me if you can save 30% of your income or 10% of your income. I want to know. I want to hear from the viewers. Can you save 30% of your income or 10% of your income? Not easy to do. Everything is high. Going out to eat is high. Gas is high. Utilities are high. Rent is high. Car payments are high. Everything is high. Everything goes up except wages. Check your PG&E bill.
It's not easy, but it's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible. You have to start somewhere.
All right. And what about senior citizens who are on fixed incomes?
That's it. It's too late for them, to be honest, because they're not getting any raises anymore.
They should be not only should the PG&E prices, groceries, everything for the seniors that are on fixed incomes should stay the same and not go up. But the country will never agree to something. I'll bet Bernie Sanders would agree with that.
Yeah.
But not many business owners would agree with that.
Let me repeat what I said. It's today, I mean, when in 85, the minimum wage was $3.25 an hour. With $3.25 an hour, people had more money to spend to purchase what they need. Today, with a $10 an hour,
gas was less than $1 back then.
Yes,
though.
but because of inflation, and inflation only happens when you increase minimum wages.
Back in '85, my PG&E bill was $25.
Yes. Today, how much is it?
Oh, it's closing in on $200 a month. It's crazy.
I was paying $700 for PG&E.
Right.
So we put solar system. We cut it down now actually to $250.
Right.
But the inflation, it's always higher than the minimum wage you do. And why the inflation happens? For two reasons. Actually, the main reason is for the rich to become richer. That's all what it is. If we don't increase, if we don't have inflation, the excuse for inflation is what? It's minimum wage.
All right. We're talking to AJ Rassamni. He's the owner of Great American Car Wash. He's talking about the hike in minimum wage here in the state of California. We got more graphics to show, more to talk about here. But if you want to call in, 436-MeTV option 11, and talk to us and let us know, is it possible for you? Hang on a second. I'm going to put this call on hold. Caller, you'll have to hang on until after the break, all right?
Sure.
Okay. Is it possible for you to save 30% of your income, or at the very least 10% of your income? I want to hear from you. 436-MeTV option 11. Back in just a moment with our caller.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
And we are grateful to the sponsors today of this program. Connect with me on MeTV Fresno, Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedos on Clovis Avenue. So go out there and check them out if you want to buy a new suit, a new tie. Maybe you just want to buy a pair of pants or whatever the case may be. Go out there and check them out. Caller, you've been patient. Go ahead. You're on the air with our guest, AJ Rassamni.
Yes, sir. I was thinking that, if a person could save $20 a week, $80 a month, over $1,000 a year, over 10 years, they have, over $10,000 saved,
That's not
Even
much.
with just $20 a week, if they can hide that, that'd be perfect. I mean, it'd help.
Right. That's not much, though. That's not much.
Let me say something. Can I cut in?
Go ahead. Caller, stay there.
If
Stay
at
there.
age 18, a person learns to put $2,000 a year in the savings on compound interest.
What about an IRA?
Yeah, IRA anywhere but compound interest. At compound interest, and I have the study at 10% compound interest. At age 18, only for 6 years. So they put $12,000 in a compound interest. At age 65, they have over $1 million. If they start at age 24 and put $2,000 a year till they retire at age 65, they have $1 million. So it's good always to start early. It's $12,000 savings versus, $70,000 savings, but you get $1 million in your retirement account at age 65 if you save $2,000 a year from age 18 for the next 6 years to age 24.
So let me get this straight. Hang on, caller. So let me get this straight in my mind here. If you save $2,000 a year from age 18, by the time you're 65, you'll have $1 million in the bank because of the interest?
No, if you save $2,000 a year for 6 years only, so a total of $12,000, but start at age 18, from 18 to 24. With compound interest, that money is $1 million at age 65.
I'm not 18, but if I put away $2,000 a year in some account, you're telling me in 6 years I'll have $1 million?
and at age 65, you have $1 million. It's 6 years investment of $2,000 per year. But at age 65, with compound interest, that money is $1 million.
No, I'm talking about for somebody my age.
Yes.
I could do that in 6 years?
No, you cannot do that. You have to start at age 18.
Okay, so it's not in 6 years. It's over the course of a lifetime. I'm confused.
Yes. At age 18, you save $2,000. You do the same thing at 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So 6 years, you save $2,000 per year, total of $12,000.
Right.
And you stop putting money in the IRA account. You stop. At age 65, this money becomes $1 million.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to ask you. Hang on, caller. If I take $12,000 right now and invest it in what account? What account would it be?
You can get today. You can get 10% interest, very secured as a compound interest.
Where?
In a lot of real estate investments. It's secured investments.
So you're telling me I could take $12,000 right now, put it in some account, and in 6 years I'll have $1 million?
No, it's the compound interest over the next 40 years.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
I can't. It's too late for me.
By age 65, yes.
It's too late for me. So I can't do it in 6 years.
No. But see, this what the government doesn't teach us. This what school doesn't teach us is start saving early.
You're saying at the age of 18, take that money and within 6 years put it in an account, and that with compounded interest for the next 40 years or so.
Yes.
You'll have $1 million.
Yes.
Now I understand it.
Yes.
Okay. I'm slow, but I get it.
And it is in my book, by the way.
Okay, it is in your book. Go ahead, caller.
You know, there's a lot of
caller, go ahead quickly. We're
okay.
short on time.
There's a lot of people that play poor people that play lottery, and you know, there's one person that's going to win $500 million. You know.
Yeah.
But if they had 540 people win $1 million, or 500,000 people win $100,000, I mean, the computer can figure all that out. If they did that once a week, twice a week, they do the lotto, and a lot of people would have winnings, and they, you know, put a new carpet, put a new roof, paint their house.
Yeah, but how many
do
people
landscape? They,
all right.
you know, they buy new furniture. I mean, these small businesses that have refrigerators and stoves and all this stuff.
Thank you.
They would be, you know, circulate money more, and the lottery is taking all these poor people's money and giving it to one guy that says, "I gotta hide now." You know, it doesn't make sense.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that very informative call. Thank you so much. And, you know, I got to say, there are a lot of people that have won the lottery that have gone broke.
Yes.
It's been all over the news, okay? They end up with $300-400 million, and they buy boats, houses. They're like I said, spendthrifts. It's ingrained into them. They were raised. They got the mentality, let's spend, let's not save. I guarantee you, if I won the lottery, I would not go broke. Ever.
You know what?
It's my mind. But let me put up another graphic here, AJ. It's called FRESNO Impact. We got 3 screens to showcase this one graphic. It's called FRESNO Impact, and I want to read this to you. The FRESNO example illustrates the challenge, and I'm talking the FRESNO example meaning the medium wage of 2022, which is $20.31. That's what it will be. The FRESNO example illustrates the challenge of raising the minimum wage to the same level across cities that, in economic terms, have little in common beyond the same state government. Cities with high real estate prices are typically able to withstand minimum wage increases than cities with low prices. You pointed that out because wages represent a smaller fraction of businesses' overall cost in those cities and therefore have a smaller effect on the bottom line. But in Fresno, real estate is cheap. Wages are by far the biggest cost for the typical service sector business. I will take the call. In Fresno, labor cost is about 40% of revenue with small business. Explain what I just read. Hang on, caller.
Okay.
That sounded convoluted, but what does it all mean?
Well, this basically, in simple sentence, says Fresno cannot afford the increase in minimum wage. Again, because
in simple terms,
real estate is very cheap. People don't have enough income to once you raise the minimum wage, businesses have to raise the rates. So middle class are not getting a raise. Only the low income or the minimum wage are getting a raise. And that's going to affect the purchasing power of these people to go out to the business and spend money.
Okay, caller, quickly. We're short on time.
Yeah, you know, Hillary Clinton said no new taxes, but taxes are calculated at 30% of your income. And so a minimum wage increase to $15 an hour would be an automatic tax increase.
Yes.
In 1950, a normal house cost $2,500. In 1975, a normal house was $55,000, and the same house today is $210,000.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you much. And let me put up another graphic up on the screen here. Talking about farmers. Okay, what about the farmers and what effect this may have on farming? I want to put the graphic up. Let me put the graphic up and you can comment. One farmer said paying his workers $15 an hour would further undermine the ability to compete with growers in other states. In Mexico, we're already at a disadvantage with Arizona, where farmers pay their workers $8.05 an hour, and we're at $10. Any further increase is going to put us at a serious disadvantage. Further explain.
Okay, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Look at car washes. That's why we exported all our manufactured jobs to China.
Yeah.
You know, because it's cheaper to create there. Actually, it's cheaper to create in China and have them shipped here than being manufactured over here.
Yeah.
For that reason. But for example, look at car washes, and I don't know if I said that. The car wash here in Fresno, it's $5, $6 for an express wash. You still can find it at $5. In San Francisco, it's at $15. At the full service wash here in Fresno, it's at $16 a car. In San Francisco, it's at $26 a car. So that's why we cannot afford the increase in minimum wage. Oregon did something very good. So I still believe places like San Francisco, they should have the increase in minimum wage, and even maybe 15 is not enough. But Fresno cannot afford it. Oregon did something very good. They're taking the rate up, the minimum wage to $14.75. But in rural areas, they're keeping it at $12.50 only. So they divided the state, said this city can have this much increase, but this city can only have that much increase. And this is a smart way to do it.
All right. I still want to hear from you, the caller, 436-MeTV, option 11. How many of you can afford to save 30% of your income? How many of you can afford to save 10% of your income, 20% of your income, 5% of your income? I want to hear from you, 436-MeTV, option 11. Let's put up the next graphic. It's called Bottom Line. All right, when the minimum wage is increased, so are other costs associated to a company's bottom line, such as workers' compensation rates, coupled with loss of federal unemployment insurance credits and new legislation, such as the Affordable Care Act. The effect is a significant and will have a significant impact on any business.
Yes.
Comment, please.
1/3 of the increase is going to go to pay taxes. So first, automatically 1/3 is going out for taxes.
Okay.
And what's going to do is going to stop income tax, earned income tax credit is going to be stopped. Welfare is going to go down a lot. Food stamps will stop because now people are making more money. So really, this increase is not for the people, because with the inflation, the value of the dollar is going to be less. But this increase is for two reasons. It's for the government to save money and to make more money, and for the rich to get richer, and for middle class to become poorer and have a bigger separation between middle class.
The minimum wage increase will make the middle class poorer.
Yes. And this is throughout history.
Caller, do you agree with that? Will a raise in the minimum wage make the middle class poorer?
I don't think so. Myself, I'm just saying I'm in a fixed income and I have my son. It takes right now, the PG&E bill alone takes $600 a month plus the rent, which is $1,200 of my what I get, and that's only those two things, okay? And then you're talking about the water bill, the phone, whatever. So as far as me myself, there's no way I can save 20% or 30%. He has a mentality where he started young, he knew how to do it, but look at where he's at now. He's got the money and all that. But you go to a middle class, they can afford it, just that they have to cut back, different things. But there's no way any one of us, even $15 an hour, can make the bills equal to as much as we make. There's no way. The ones that are poor because they're poor. But a lot of people.
Okay. And a lot of them, but there is this mentality with a lot of people who don't know how to save money. respond to what the caller said.
I'll tell you a story. Andrew Carnegie, I don't know if you know him, he was the richest man in the world. He was an immigrant that came to the United States, and he was so poor, didn't have anything, then he became the richest man in the world.
How old was he when he came here?
He came in his teenage years, but he had the right mentors, and he became the richest man in the world. One time he went and picked up one of the workers, and they went to lunch. So he came in his big car, picked up one of the workers, went to lunch. And then when the worker came back, the other workers asked him, how do you know Andrew Carnegie? He said, well, I've known him for over 30 years. And the difference is he came to work for the company and I came to work for my check. And again, it's up to you to decide what your future is going to be. It's not written down yet.
But is the caller right? You had an advantage because you knew the system. You started young. You're smart. You're educated. You know how the system works, and you played the system fairly and squarely, and you made it.
Perfect.
That isn't the case with everyone.
Let me ask you this.
That isn't the case with everyone. Not everyone has the knowledge that you did at a young
you are
age.
assuming I knew the system. I came here, I was 22 years old. I didn't know the system. I didn't speak English.
But you were smart.
I didn't speak English. But that's the thing.
No,
I
but you were...
I was aspired to succeed and live the American dream. So it is up to you to decide what kind of dream you're going to have in the future.
But you had the desire and you had the smarts to figure it out.
Let me ask you something.
Am I right, though?
Let me give you another story.
But am I right?
I have the desire.
And you also had the smarts to try to figure it out.
I have the burning desire to succeed and create a future for me. I had the vision where I want to be.
Right.
And without having the vision, you can never achieve. You're always going to work for your check. Either you're going to work for the company and do what's best for the company so you can move up, or you're just going to come and work for your check and expect everybody to pay you and take care of you
What if
and
you
be sorry
can't
for
move
you.
up? What if you can't move up? What if you work for the company and you can't move up? What do you do?
Who's in charge?
Change jobs?
Who's in charge of you? You are in charge of you.
So what do you? But what do you do? Do you change jobs? You leave that job and go to another?
You have to work harder. You have to be inspired and aspire to work harder than anybody else in the company, so you start moving up. And again, if you only want to work for your check, that's all you're going to get paid, minimum wage.
No, I understand that. But what if? Hang on a second. Caller, hang on a minute. But what if you work for the company and you work hard many years and your boss doesn't give you a raise or you can't move up?
You're working harder than anybody else? Another business owner is going to see that. And if your business, the owner of your business doesn't give you a raise, somebody else is going to give it to you.
Okay. Caller, on that point, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say that, it kind of cracks me up whenever I hear people say, well, you know what, we need $15 an hour. We need, because it's not going to stop. It's always going to grow. And what's going to wind up happening is the owners of all these businesses are going to go, you know what, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it around when you walk around. You see kiosks more and more. And what these people are basically doing is just pricing themselves out of a job. And to the gentleman's, his thing, I'm a veteran, and I talk to other veterans, and they help me. I get, information from them telling me, hey, if you want to know about this, you've got to learn about that. If you want to do this, or they give me information. And that's how you grow, and that's how you become better. That's why I own a house, because I've learned how to, from other veterans, on how to, get a house at a certain price and how to be able to pay for all that. I'm not over here demanding more money. And that's what these people are doing. Is that they're pricing themselves out of a job, which is, if they want to do that, that's fine, because there's going to be more and more kiosks, coming up. Okay. And to me, it's a foolish endeavor. So, right. I mean, I'll sit back and listen to your guys' answer.
Yeah, go ahead and respond to the caller. He's probably got off the phone right now and cranked up the sound on his television set. Go ahead.
Well, he's absolutely right. It's exactly what I've been saying. It is up to you. You're in charge of whatever happens to you. It is up to you. If you're inspired to grow, you have to be able to put the time in. And the time in is you put to educate yourself, to grow. I'll tell you a story. What happens, what would you tell me the future of a black person in the 60s, lived in the wrong side of the track, had trouble with the law, was pregnant with instill child? What do you think? What do you think the future would be?
That person has very little chance of making it.
That's Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
because you're in charge of your life. She knew exactly what she wanted to be. When she was little, she was raised by her grandma. And her grandma said, you'll be lucky when you grow up to find a nice white family to work and become their maid. Because that was the vision of her grandma. But she knew that that wasn't her vision.
Right. Let's take another call here. Caller, you're on the air, and it's got to be short. We're short on time.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that minimum wage thing because I'm a small business owner myself, and I can't hike up the price to sell to anybody else because I'm a small farmer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I sell to the wholesale. The wholesale control the price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I pay him $15 an hour, where am I going to make money?
Right.
Labor work. I mean, if you want to make more money, you got to go to college, earn an education.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
All right.
It's like not be giving it to you.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. Because I work hard to get where I'm at. That's how people should know.
Thank you, caller, for that. And I want to put up on that, AJ. I know you want to comment. Go ahead quickly because I need two more graphics here.
So let me tell you, when they get the minimum wage, it becomes $31,200 a year if they're working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Today, I'm on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters,
Yeah.
and we hire graduate bachelor degree. We pay them about $40,000 a year. So after they went to school 4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
they're getting paid $40,000 a year. To tell me that somebody minimum wage want to get paid $32,000 a year
Yeah.
without going to college, without being inspired, just to be given to them?
Okay, let's put up the next graphic. It's called Impact. The impact of a minimum wage increase on a hotel, motel, restaurant, and car wash owner would be far greater than the impact on a law firm or other operations where employee wages may already exceed the suggested minimum wage increase.
Yes.
True or false?
Absolutely true.
All right. The last one, solutions. Minimum wage should only apply to big cities, technology cities. We talked about that. Expensive real estate cities, or should only apply to companies that their revenue exceed X amount of dollars, or companies that the number of employees exceed X amount of employees. Why is that critical?
It's a better solution so small businesses can still afford to hire people. They don't have to fire people to survive. They don't have to raise the price to survive. It's a better solution for everybody. Big corporations, they make billions of dollars. You know, if they take Apple makes over $50 billion. If they take $1 billion and distribute it among all their workers, now those people have more money to go to the city, to the neighborhood, and spend more money, and that increases the economy.
Can I suggest a book? Yours, of course.
Yeah.
Hold it up real quick. It's called Gain the Unfair Advantage. It's right there. Quickly, and we got 10 seconds. Go ahead and tell us where you can get that book.
Amazon.
Okay, Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
It's called Gain the Unfair Advantage. It's written by AJ Rassamni. Another good book, not written by you. Yeah. It's called Think and Grow Rich. Ever read that book?
Unbelievable. I read it every year. And actually today, my son is reading it. And yesterday, my son and I were listening to the 17 Principles of Napoleon Hill that wrote the book on YouTube. It's excellent to listen to.
Right.
I want to.
I got that book back. No, we don't have time, but I got Think and Grow Rich. I got that book back in the late 80s, like 87 or 88. And read it, and then read it over again and over again. Now it's in my garage someplace. I don't know. Yes, I have to dig it out again.
Let me say something before we're out.
We got to go because we're going to be cut off.
Today, in the last 7 years, we lost 9,000 headquarters moved out of California to Texas because of the inflation and rate.
You'll come back again.
Okay.
All right. Maybe we'll talk Bernie Sanders.
And we're going to lose 700,000 jobs because of the minimum wage increase.
All right. Got to go. See you tomorrow with a bike shop owner in Hanford who said he's had it up to here with the city of Fresno. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a third suit for only $50 more.